life, I have a lot of hopes, but one of my hopes would be to be an actress.
Yes, I have hopes, and one of them is one day is to become a director, movie director.
I really only have one hope for myself, and that one day God will complete the work that He began in me.
For me, my hope would be that I would be a godly person who brings positive influence into the life of God, of those that God sends my way.
Oh man, that I'm found faithful. That I'm found faithful as a believer and a servant of Jesus Christ. That I'm found faithful as a husband, a father, and a friend.
Well, I hope to finish the race well. Not just having started off on the right track, but finishing well, and always doing the best that I can for the Lord in this world.
I hope I'll have a good life and a good future, and my family will stay safe.
I would hope that I could be sensitive to people around me, which sometimes I find I am not, and I would hope I could do better at that.
My hopes was to go into higher education so that I could make a change in the world politically or socially.
I have hopes that I can continue to teach my family about the Lord and that my children will come to know Christ.
For myself, my hope is that I will be consistent in my faith.
My hope is to serve God with all my heart, to follow the rules of Jesus, to follow His laws. All my hope comes from Him. I'm hoping to achieve all the gifts that He's placed in my heart.
The circumstances into which children are welcomed into the world are many and varied. Some are hardly welcomed at all. They're an immediate problem, not wanted and not cared for. If they were capable of having hopes for themselves, they would merely centre on survival. Alternatively and thankfully, other children experience the warmth of love from their earliest days. They feel safe and secure and gradually begin to build up their own hopes for the future. Between these two extremes is a mixture of circumstances that determines early attitudes to life and has a bearing on where growing adults might dare to place their hopes. Nearer the end of life, hopes will have been realised or dashed. It's unlikely that anyone will have fulfilled every dream. Whether we welcome it or not, disappointment is a necessary emotion. To have each wish come true or to achieve every ambition would hinder our becoming balanced in our thinking or understanding. Regret is another factor. It comes in many forms. It may relate to hopes we had for our own conduct, only to discover we weren't as good as we thought we were. We may have been hurt by others or caused damage ourselves. In consequence, precious hopes can disappear as the years go by. We are left to reflect on what might have been. Perhaps we should reflect more intentionally on what we ought to hope for. What should be our priorities? It isn't wrong to hope for good things or for success, it's natural, but should our hopes go deeper? At the beginning of our One Army teaching, we took time to consider our one life and ways in which it could be used. Now we're looking beyond this life, reflecting on its purpose and seeing where hope might take us. In his letter to the Ephesians, the Apostle Paul prayed that the eyes of each heart would be opened so that they might know the hope to which God had called them. He was speaking of a hope with eternal quality, one that makes a difference to our life here and now. It's a hope that gives us an eternal perspective with which to view the uncertainties of life. Living in the light of eternity can bring hope to life's darkest moments. Highly respected theologian Tom Wright describes the Christian hope as not wishful thinking or mere blind optimism. It is, he says, a mode of knowing, a mode within which new things are possible. Only by living in this hope do we discover it to be sure and certain. God's transforming presence does the confirming. Christ in you, the hope of glory.